Okay, this is a 2014 Lexus is250. It's got a 153 kilowatt V6, 0 to 108.1 seconds, top speed of 225 k's an hour. Beautiful car, 6-speed automatic, quite Toyota's luxury proposition for basically 11 years ago. Let's see how it drives today. All right, so this is the engine room, quite literally. 2.5 litre V6, 153 kilowatts at 6,400 RPM, which is right on redline, and 252 Newton meters at 4,800 RPM. So I thought it was 165 kilowatts, but it's really a very lusty engine. It's perfectly matched to the 6-speed automatic gearbox. It's very quiet, it's very refined, it's very smooth, but really, when you get right under it, it does have a nice rumble to it and a bit of an exhaust note. So well done, Lexus. You've really, really nailed this mechanical combination. You get that annoying beep when you open the door, and the first thing that you notice when you get in is no handbrake. Now, annoyingly, and it took me a little while to find this, the handbrake is up there, so it's actually a foot brake. So you've got to take that off before you can go anywhere. You need to put your foot on the brake, press the start. You get an annoying little Lexus thing, and then you'll get a, there you go, caution, and then we are ready for action. Now, here's the key, right? Whatever. But the thing is, you can start this car and it won't start, I'll turn it off, it won't start with the key not in the vehicle. But if I start the car and then accidentally leave the key somewhere else, the car will keep running. You can get to your destination and you can turn the car off, but then you can't restart it because it's not sensing the RFID of this key. So that is one negative, one frustration. Now, as I accelerate around a corner, the gearbox, the car's not fully warmed up yet. You can see the temperature gauge is still pretty much on cold, but the gearbox is really, really nice. It's an absolute joy to drive this car. It doesn't hunt, it doesn't skip. It's pretty economical, even, you know, driving it fairly spiritedly. So I've got an economy there of 7.1 litres per 100, and that's over the last tank of fuel, which has been about, probably, I've driven this for about 1,000 kilometres. So very economical for a 2.5 litre V6. And it actually does have nice wiper washers, and as I'm doing that, it's also spraying the headlights at the front of the car. So gears are pretty easy. You can't flick it back, you got to push it over, down into drive, and then if you click it to the right, you go from automatic mode, you get a little red LED there, into manual mode, and then shift up, shift down. Pretty straightforward. You've got a sport mode that you can flick it across there and you get a little sport icon. If you press this center button or flick it to the left, it will go back to normal mode or right to eco mode. This is what this is like in manual mode. Go back, very nice. Nice little bit of compression braking. Okay, we'll jump in the boot, we'll jump in the back here and have a bit of a tour. You get 2 air conditioning vents, nothing too fancy there. You get your standard seatbelt ISOFIX points for kids. There is a center headrest that's been taken out to improve rear visibility, and you get a little slide out tray here, like that, with 2 cup holders. Very nice, quite nice. So plenty of leg room, it's not bad. I'm 6 feet tall. It could be a longer car, but it doesn't have to be. This is okay. Okay, let's have a look in the boot. Now this car's got a bit of gunk in the boot, but that's okay. It's quite well spaced. You can see here that both seats fold down, which is great. So you've got a through tunnel boot here, and pretty sure that we just have a space saver spare, which we do, which is better than one of the silly injectable cans of goop that other cars are coming out with. Now the other thing that I really love about this car is the guidance lines. Just pulling up to a random reverse park here. It really lets you guide the car in. Now one thing this car doesn't have, if I go into reverse again, got a big fat pedestrian crusher behind me, and as I get closer you don't get beeps. So I could hit that car and there'd be nothing to stop me. No beeps, no warnings. So let's not do that. Now one interesting quirk of this car is the indicator. It doesn't actually click up. So it's an electronic indicator. There's no relay, it's all done electronically. But it self-cancels, but the stalk actually doesn't change position. So if you are changing lanes on a freeway and you tap it to change lanes, you've actually got to remember to cancel it. Now the other thing that you've got here with your little mouse control, if I move that around, you can see that I've got an option here to read an incoming text message. So I'll read that from Dick Smith.
Ends midnight. Get up to 60% off plus free shipping on EOFY sale TVs, furniture and more. Shop dicksmith.com or RF. T&C apply.
Okay, so that gives you an idea of what this car can do. So for 2014, that was probably fairly sophisticated. The other thing that I'll show you quickly is the temperature control. So you can tap that down like that, and they both move. You can see that quite clearly laid out. Got fan speed there, so a few different or a reasonable level of control of the fan. But if you just slide your finger up and down, you can, it's got quite nice linearity, but you need sort of 2 strokes of your finger to get that all the way up or all the way down to the minimum temperature. So it sort of starts down here, 18 degrees, up to 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 31 and a half, and then high. And then you can press auto if the other person changes their temperature like that. So if they want to change their temperature, it goes automatically into dual mode. And then to change that, you can either press dual mode off, and if they do it again, it puts dual mode on, or you can just turn auto off, turn the AC off, do whatever you like. Recirc, pretty straightforward. Got a few controls down here, so got parking sensors, got the trip odometer, got the dash lighting controls, automatic windows, which is good. Also completely automatic on the other side. So I really like single touch button automatic windows. So that is a great feature. Not a lot of cars have this even today. The sound system in this car is also superb. So it's Dolby Digital. If you can flick that down there, you've got the map micro HDSC card for the navigation, and basically it does have a DVD player in it, so you can actually play DVDs through this. Not that I ever have. The quality of the sound system really is quite superb. So is it an $80,000 Camry, or is it a Lexus in its own right? Hard to tell, but it's a beautiful car. I've just taken it on a 1000k road trip, and it was really quite lovely to drive. The NVH, noise, vibration, harshness, is very good. It's very smooth, it's very linear. The handling is quite precise for a 1625 kilo car, so it really does stick to the road quite beautifully for what is essentially a middle management. I can't quite afford a BMW or a Mercedes, so I'm going to go for a Marque, so I'm going to go for Lexus, but it really does punch above its weight, and it is a very nice car to drive for long distances.
Caution, approaching school zone.
Yeah, approaching school zone. So have a look at this. This is one thing that doesn't impress me very much about these cars. So it's 10 to 7 in the morning. The school zone doesn't start for more than another hour, and it does this all the time. So you can see where I am. I'm in Wee Waa, and basically it warns you of school zones even if you're driving at midnight, and it shouldn't be hard to trigger this thing or link it to GPS for the time clock and say, well, let's only warn the driver of school zones when you're actually in the school zone.
Caution.
And yes, look at the time. It is 1:30 in the afternoon. There is no school zone here, Mr. Lexus. Get your time clocks to talk to the GPS clocks, to talk to the school clocks, to talk to the car clock. Now what I'm going to show you now is the annoying notifications you get.
Caution, approaching railway crossing.
Now there is no railway crossing here. The railway crossing is actually off to a side road, which is all the way down there. So there we go, and then you get a second beep. And if you're listening to music or a podcast, you cannot turn off those safety warnings. Something I find absolutely infuriating. Gotta love Australia. Cows all over the place. And up ahead we've got a wide load. But if you want a really wide load, Whitehaven, all buckets. Look at the size of that thing. Flick this onto high beam. They're not bad. HRD high beams, and the interior lighting is pretty good. Everything's nicely backlit at night, including very, very gentle LED lighting behind the steering wheel controls, also the sunroof controls, and then all of this stuff down here on the dash. A little bit hard to see at this time of night. And this is what this Lexus is like at night. So I'm doing 100 k's now here, and I just want to show you what this thing is like overtaking. So I'm just going to put my foot down, and you can really get some rapid motoring up. It's about 165 kilowatts, and it's really, really nice for mid-range overtaking. So I've got some steering wheel mounted controls here, and what you can do is you can cycle between screens. This one has a couple of up and down screens that you can see there. Blank screen, go back, and then you can go left and right through your whatever you're listening to, your audio source. Messages, so engine management messages. Settings mode, so you can change things like dimming and headlights and things like that, but you can only do that when the car is stopped, which is pretty sensible. And then just a standard economy bar. But what it doesn't show you is it doesn't give you a digital readout of the car's instantaneous fuel economy. All you get is that bar graph. So this is a fairly loose gravelly surface. I'm just going to put my foot to the floor, see how the traction control handles this very, very loose pea gravel out here. Yeah, not too bad. Okay, and a 0 to 100 test, here we go. Another great feature about this car, and it's probably because it's rear wheel drive and not front wheel drive, so the steering mechanism can be a lot more compact, is the turning circle. It is just fantastic. Normally, a street like this, fairly narrow, suburban street, be a 3-point turn. In the Lexus, hardly a challenge. It's just fantastic. It's such a good feature. This Lexus was far superior to equivalent Toyotas from 11 years ago, but I'm not sure I could have justified the 50% price premium at the time. By today's standards, the GPS is only 2D and is very outdated. Also, there's no lane departure, parking sensors or adaptive cruise, which were common at the time. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay only came out in 2015, so everyone misses out. This model would sell for around 20 grand today, which is about the same as a top spec 2017 Camry with similar kilometres. For my money, the Camry is the better choice.